Welcome to Mind Blueprint, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch our videos. We created this space to help you decode the silent architecture of your beautiful, complicated brain. And having you here as part of our community means the world to us. If our deep dives into human behavior help you understand your patterns and feel deeply seen, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel grow so we can keep bringing you accessible psychology and neuroscience. We hope you enjoy the video.
You know the feeling, you're standing in front of your closet, looking at all the options, and you just grab the black shirt, the black pants. It's easy, it feels right. But what if that simple, everyday choice is actually, well, one of the most complex psychological statements you can make? We're going to get into it, because the story behind an all-black wardrobe is way more fascinating than you probably think. So right away, here's the big contradiction. On one hand, studies tell us that we see black as the color of prestige and power. We connect it with being confident, smart, someone you can rely on. But at the exact same time, it's culturally hardwired to mean something darker. Aggression, evil, danger. You know, the movie villain, the symbol for death. It's almost always black. So which one is it? Is the person in all black a confident pro or a potential threat? Well, the truth is the answer totally depends on who's doing the looking and why the person chose to wear it in the first place. Let's unpack all that. Okay. First, let's look at this from the outside in. We all make snap judgments, right? It's just how our brains work. And clothing is a major shortcut in that process. But when that clothing is black, a really specific and often totally unconscious bias can kick in. Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called the black clothing stereotype. And it's basically our brain's default setting to lean into those negative ideas about the color, especially when we're trying to figure out if someone is hostile or aggressive. And believe me, this isn't just a theory. It shows up in the real world in some pretty shocking ways. And the data on this is just so consistent. It's wild. In sports, for example, studies found that teams wearing black uniforms actually get more penalties because referees see them as more aggressive. In legal settings, mock jurors tend to rate suspects wearing black as guiltier. And even in a lab, actors doing the exact same things are rated as more threatening when they're wearing black. And really, it all boils down to what this study found. The quote says it all. Black's uniforms, especially when things get tense, don't just look different to the person watching, they feel different. And that creates a more hostile impression. Okay, so the world might be seeing aggression. But is that the message the wearer's trying to send? I think you know the answer. Almost always, it's a big no. So let's flip this around and look at the internal motivation. Because for the person choosing to wear black, the psychology isn't about pushing hostility out into the world. A lot of the time, it's about building a little protection for what's inside. Think of it like putting on psychological armor. I love that term. In a world that is just constantly pulling at your energy and attention, an all-black outfit becomes a kind of shield. It's a subtle way to set up boundaries, protect your inner world, and just move through life on your own terms. So why do we reach for this armor? Well, it mostly comes down to three big reasons. First, it kills decision fatigue. You don't have to wonder what matches what. It all just works. That's one less tiny decision in a day full of them. Second, it's a sensory shield. For a lot of people, bright colors can feel like visual noise, you know? It's just overwhelming. Black is like visual silence. And third, it gives off this quiet confidence. It says, take me seriously, but without screaming for attention. And that sensory shield idea, that's not just a feeling. It's a real thing. Research suggests that about 1 in 5 of us, that's 20% of the population, has what's called high sensory processing sensitivity. For this group, choosing black isn't just about looking cool. It's a real strategy to self-regulate. It's literally a way to turn down the volume of the world. And this quote really just nails the personality behind the armor. See, the choice to wear black isn't usually about being cold or distant. It's often the uniform of a really sensitive, ambitious person who's using their clothes to protect their energy so they can focus on what's actually important to them. Okay, so we've got these two totally opposite views, right? The outside world sees potential aggression, but the person wearing it is seeking protection and focus. The key to making sense of this gap is context. And this is where it all clicks into place. In a professional setting, like a boardroom, black clothes signal that you're competent and you have authority. But you take that exact same outfit and put it in a tense, high-stress situation on the street, and that perception completely flips. Now it can be seen as threatening and hostile. The clothes didn't change at all. The context changed everything. This brings us to this really cool theory called enclothed cognition. Basically, it says that clothes don't just change how others see us, they actually change how we see ourselves. It's a two-part thing: what the clothes mean to us and the actual physical feeling of wearing them. So, when you put on a suit, you don't just look more professional, you can actually start to think and act more professionally too.
But, and this is a really important but, there's a critical flaw here. That theory doesn't always work if society's biases are strong enough. A study from Oregon State University on how Black men are perceived found that even when they wore formal, dark clothing, which did make them seem more hardworking, it did not get rid of underlying racist stereotypes. It's just a powerful reminder that some pre-existing biases can completely overwrite whatever message we're trying to send with our clothes. So we've looked at how the world sees Black clothing, and we've looked at why we choose to wear it. And that brings us to one last, much more personal question. At what point does that armor stop helping us? You see, the real danger of any armor is that it can turn from a choice into a habit, and then eventually into a cage. It can become this place you just automatically retreat to, a place where you feel safe, sure, but also maybe a little bit unseen. You want it to disappear a little, and it worked. But sometimes it can get lonely inside that successful camouflage.
The most crucial point is that this kind of protection might have an expiration date. That armor that was so essential when you were just trying to get through a chaotic time in your life, well, it can start to weigh you down as you grow and heal. That same shield might now be the very thing that's keeping you from being fully seen.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Look, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wearing all black. It's powerful, it's elegant, it's timeless. The only real question here is about your intention. Are you choosing it freely because you love it? Or is it a reflex, a leftover from a time you needed to hide? Is this uniform still a true reflection of the person you are today? Or is it a perfect fit for a person you used to be?
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button and join our community of bridge builders. Let's keep exploring the weird and wonderful ways our psychology shapes who we are today. See you in the next one.